Hello, I'm Andrew from Limitless Park, and gee, I can't wait to ride Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift when it opens at Universal Studios Hollywood in 2025. I also can't wait to drink in disappointment when it's inevitably delayed. Well, guess I can still do one of those things.
You know, it's a rare sight to see a theme park ride get delayed.
And for my next lie, Journey into Imagination with Figment is good.
So many different rides have experienced delays over the years. Epcot's new experiences and construction got scaled back and delayed so much since it was announced. And I feel like Primordial at Lagoon was announced when I was practically still a fetus, and now look at me.
I'm not quite a fetus.
Iron Gwazi was announced in 2019 and didn't open until 2022, and I think I speak for everyone when I say that those were some dark days in the theme park community. But these delays and more were all affected by real-world events starting in 2020 that didn't really make it feasible for them to open on schedule. Now replace the year 2020 with the year 2024, and I don't know how much of an excuse that can be. But regardless, Universal Studios Hollywood revealed a while back that their new Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift roller coaster would be opening in 2026, rather than the heavily speculated 2025 opening date.
Honestly, it's not that bad. Universal as a company has so much going on in 2025 with Epic Universe opening anyways. I feel like they want all the attention on the East Coast. While with the West Coast, well, you can always go ride Despicable Me Minion Mayhem again.
When you combine the crazy ticket prices with your therapy bills afterwards though, I don't know if that's worth it.
Well, we've technically known about Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift since May of 2022, and with a wait that long, it's kind of hard not to speculate and make predictions about how the ride will be. I mean, what's more fun, actually riding a ride or talking about a ride? I have an embarrassing answer for that.
So, with this 2026 opening date announcement came other information about the ride. The press release states all sorts of old and new information, including the cars being able to rotate 360 degrees, an elaborate track design with sound reduction technology, and a feeling of drifting along the track to recreate the feeling of being a Fast and Furious.
It's every man's dream.
But this really got me thinking, how is Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift going to stack up against the rest of Universal Studios Hollywood's attraction lineup? Now, according to Universal Hollywood's website, the park has 17 attractions. They also count the Dino Play area and the Fast and Furious and King Kong sections of the tram tour as separate attractions, which is kinda dumb, so we're not gonna go off of that. Now, Wikipedia, on the other hand, lists the park as having 10 attractions. Now, personally, when I count the rideable attractions on the park's website, I see 11, but I think Wikipedia cut Silly Swirly from Super Silly Funland.
Those brave souls.
And I mean, I don't think the goofy Despicable Me Dumbo clone is gonna have a chance against the big boy Fast and Furious ride. Now, if it was against Fast and Furious Supercharged in Orlando, that's a different story. God, I hope this never dies. But what about the other rides? Well, let's see how they could potentially stack up against Hollywood Drift, and where it might lie on the rankings of Universal Hollywood's attraction lineup. I'm sorry, but anyone who actually likes Despicable Me Minion Mayhem needs to go take a nap.
Well, I thought I was sleepy for nothing.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say.
Yeah, I know, I'm a sick, stinky, yucky guy for kinda enjoying the Despicable Me franchise, but luckily that bias doesn't matter since I've also been on the record as even more kinda enjoying the Fast and Furious franchise. I remember waiting for this experience for like an hour when it was still a newer ride, and I can't say that it's worth it. It's a pretty lame screen-based attraction where your chairs occasionally move. Yeah, it's got Bob, but Hollywood Drift will probably have Vin Diesel, and that's the only thing that makes it better, not the fact that it's a sick-looking roller coaster or anything.
You do not want to insult a hippogriff. It may just be the last thing you ever do.
Despite having multiple chances to ride this coaster at 2 different parks, I still haven't ridden it yet. So let's go online and see what I've been missing.
Okay, this one's even easier because, like, what would you rather ride? A Harry Potter coaster for children or a Fast and Furious coaster for man-children?
I'm going with the latter.
The Transformers! more than meets the eye.
This is the part of the video where I insert an overused joke about how Universal has too many screen-based rides.
The theme park community is the most unfunny community I've ever seen.
Look, I remember hating this ride when I rode it many years ago, but honestly I don't think it looks that bad in retrospect. It's a cool simulator ride, not unlike Spider-Man at Islands of Adventure, albeit a bit less exciting. But is it better than a brand new technologically advanced Fast and Furious roller coaster? Are fish not wet?
Probably not.
We're going to Disney World!
I like The Simpsons, and I remember enjoying their ride enough too. But man, I hear so many complaints about it being one of the worst, roughest simulators in any theme park, and I'm positive that if I rode it again, I would feel the same way. And you know what that means.
The Simpsons ride is bad.
I think we're all at the point where we'd much rather see Universal tear down The Simpsons ride and see Disney build a better one based off of, I don't know. I feel like The Simpsons has no good theme park related material to work with. But maybe whatever Disney comes up with would be better than Hollywood Drift. The Simpsons ride though, nah, it ain't happening.
We'll be sending Potter to the hospital wing in a matchbox.
Although I haven't ridden Universal Studios Hollywood's Forbidden Journey, I have ridden the version of it at Islands of Adventure, and I loved it. Seriously, I think it was one of my favorite rides at the park. The technology and immersion from the screen-based and physical set pieces results in a masterpiece of ride innovation that still feels impactful all these years later. It's truly an incredible experience. Can a Fast and Furious roller coaster beat that? I mean, maybe. Look, it kinda comes down to personal preference. I think I prefer a dark ride like Forbidden Journey to most roller coasters, and that would probably include Hollywood Drift. But, that said, I do vastly prefer the Fast and Furious as an IP rather than Harry Potter, so maybe that alone could carry? I don't know, but for now I think I'm gonna stick with Forbidden Journey as being better.
I don't think so, pets. Yeah, you got the stench of domestication all over you.
If you think about it, Secret Life of Pets Off the Leash and Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift have more in common than you might expect. Both attractions stick out in a park that's heavily saturated with screen-based simulator attractions. Secret Life of Pets is a dark ride with incredible practical effects, while Hollywood Drift is the park's first outdoor roller coaster that's not made for those who can't eat solid food yet.
I like Flight of the Hippogriff and Mott's.
So they both stand out spectacularly because of that. Overall though, I think Secret Life of Pets isn't particularly groundbreaking enough, so I can't hold it to the same standard as Forbidden Journey. It's a fantastic ride, but I would heavily speculate that Fast and Furious will top it when it opens.
And the most unfair matchup of the century, or actually just these past few minutes, goes to this.
Yeah, the more I think about this, the more it doesn't feel right to judge these against each other. Like, one is this historical experience that lasts over an hour and takes you through multiple real set pieces and even a couple mini attractions, and the other is just a roller coaster. A pretty advanced roller coaster, but a roller coaster nonetheless.
Maybe I should have had Silly Swirly take its place, because we know the tram tour wouldn't have stood a chance.
Come on, Bale. Where's your sense of adventure?
Ooh, our first and only roller coaster matchup. Yep, our first and only roller coaster matchup.
Oh man, two thrilling roller coasters dueling it out against each other? How is this easier to decide than Secret Life of Pets? Look, I know some theme park enthusiasts think the Orlando version of Revenge of the Mummy is better than Sex, but this is the Hollywood version. It's only slightly better than Sex.
Revenge of the Mummy checks off most of the 7 deadly sins.
As cool of a ride as the West Coast Revenge of the Mummy is, it's kinda short and underwhelming compared to its sister version. And when you're talking about the weaker version of an already somewhat tame roller coaster going up against one that seems to be on a much more extreme level, yeah, it's kinda tough. We'll go with Hollywood Drift on this one.
You patented it and packaged it and slapped it on a plastic lunchbox, and now you're selling it.
Now, I've ridden Jurassic World the Ride's previous iteration, Jurassic Park the Ride, at both Universal Studios Hollywood and Islands of Adventure, but I have yet to ride this new one. However, from all the POVs I've seen of it, wow. I liked Jurassic Park, but I think I would love Jurassic World. It iterates and expands on practically every part of the original, and truly looks like the ultimate version of this boat ride. But that's the real question. Boat or car?
I choose whatever this is.
While the sports car looking trains of Fast and Furious might be more exciting than a boat ride, I think it's what's around the boat ride that counts. That goes for Hollywood Drift as well, but while I'm sure there will be plenty of effects on the roller coaster for riders to enjoy, it's most likely going to pale in comparison to these massive dinosaurs.
You can't see one of these bad boys on the Fast and Furious roller coaster.
So yeah, again it comes down to personal preference, but as of now I'm going to give it to the Dino ride. Sorry car kids, the Dino kids won this round.
I'm inciting political violence.
Mushroom Kingdom, here we come.
Oh yeah, it's all led up to this moment. This is the big battle that I've been looking forward to all along. Fast and Furious and Mario Kart. Two of my favorite, just two of my favorite things duking it out against each other. And one's not gonna open for 2 years, and I haven't ridden the other. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this matchup when I haven't even ridden Mario Kart. I know, do I even deserve to speak?
But look, I just kind of get Mario Kart, okay? I mean, look, I have every mainline game in the whole series right here to run through. Yep, this is what overcompensating looks like. Super Mario Kart for the Super Nintendo. It's really bad, but for what it's worth, it started the series, and for what that's worth, it's really good. Mario Kart 64 for the Nintendo 64. This might be the first video game I ever played, and the Rainbow Road on here tests my patience more than my ex-wife. Mario Kart Super Circuit for the Game Boy Advance. I can fit it in my mouth. Mario Kart Double Dash for the Nintendo GameCube. Here's an analogy for all you coaster enthusiasts out there. This game is as overrated as Steel Vengeance. There, I said it. Mario Kart DS. It's got Mission Mode and Rob. Oh, thank God, I have one of those things. I'm only half a disgrace. Mario Kart Wii. I'm sweating more than if I was walking around Universal Studios Hollywood in July. Mario Kart 7. Holy shit, is that Mario? Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for the Nintendo Switch. You're an idiot if you think any other games are better than these. If Double Dash is Steel Vengeance, then Mario Kart 8 is the vastly superior Millennium Force. Stay hating. So that's the series, and if you disagree with me, just remember, I'm right and you're wrong.
So while I haven't ridden the ride yet, I'd like to think that I have a good enough grip on the series to judge it versus Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift. And after watching the Mario Kart POV countless times with both augmented reality headset on and off, and digesting everything this incredible next level interactive dark ride experience has to offer, I gotta say, I'm actually gonna go with Fast and the Furious on this one.
After all that?
Yeah, so I won't lie, this was a tough choice for me, but at the end of the day, while I think I like Mario Kart much more than Fast and Furious as far as IPs go, I still think that Hollywood Drift will be a more exciting attraction than Mario Kart. Sure, Mario Kart looks to have a great blend of screens and set pieces, which is fantastic, and the usage of AR is cool, but at the end of the day, the ride still looks kinda slow. I'm sure the AR helps with that a bit, and it definitely doesn't look like a bad ride, far from it, but I'd be lying if I said it embodies the Mario Kart franchise as well as it possibly could have. I know some people really wanted Mario Kart to be a roller coaster instead of a dark ride, and that's not what I'm saying. Personally, I think the old just turn it into a roller coaster to make it better argument is pretty dumb, and Universal got really creative with how they chose to translate Mario Kart into a dark ride. I just think that maybe there could have been some other third option that would have worked a bit better. Meanwhile, you have Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift, which overall I think is looking to embody the franchise a bit better. I mean, they didn't really have to do much to do that, just have some cool looking sports cars and an emphasis on drifting, and that's a bulk of what makes this series special.
So yeah, I'm predicting that Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift will be a better ride than the ride based off my one true love.
Overall, Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift is looking to be one of the better rides at Universal Hollywood when it opens in 2026. Just in case you weren't keeping track, I think it'll probably be better than every ride at the park except Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, Jurassic World The Ride, and technically the Studio Tram Tour if we're counting that. I think there's arguments to be made for Secret Life of Pets and Mario Kart to be better, but right now it's sitting at 4th place in the park's lineup.
But hey, this is pure speculation, and opinions change after all. In 2026, I could say that Hollywood Drift is the worst ride in the park, or the best. So don't be surprised when I'm walking around proclaiming the truth that Silly Swirly is a better ride in 2 years. In fact, I already found a picket sign for this just in case. I know, right? I didn't know you could get these secondhand either. Weirdly, Silly Swirly is number 1 was already written, and I just wrote The End Is Nigh and crossed it out just to add some extra flavor. It was a really weird garage sale.